What's up, morons? I hope your hands are getting strong because it's a bloodbath out there in the financial markets. This, of course, is Moron Money, where I don't give you financial advice. I simply provide a springboard to doing your own research. So, since this is a free episode, if you'd be so kind as to subscribe, tap the notification bell, hit the like button, leave a comment, all that helps the algorithm. And every video I've ever watched on finance says that. So I feel like you must know it at this point, but I could probably use more help than a lot of them. So if you would be so kind. And you can also check out patreon.com/blindmike. All right. So you may remember last week I spoke of an interview that I came across with Tika Tiwari, a financial advisor who talked about the internet bubble in the early 90s. And he talked about a pattern of the rich, the billionaires, and the institutions constantly beating down the little guy with information and with prices as far as internet stocks. So in '94, these billionaires would come out with statements saying all these people buying up internet stocks like Microsoft and Apple and these silly companies, they're idiots, they're fools, they're rubes. So don't be like them. And then while they were doing that, they were accumulating those very same internet stocks. So this both affected the price and allowed them to gobble up as much as they could. Now, with something that has a scarcity to it like Bitcoin, that's also pretty easy to do, I believe. So it seems like that's what's happening with a lot of crypto prices in my mind. There's also some news that we will get to that I think is affecting the price. But the reason I bring up that Tika Tiwari interview is because he kind of emphasizes that it's not just once or twice that they would do this. That they would, they're very smart. Guys like Jamie Dimon, who I talk about, and Scott Menard, these guys that are clearly manipulating the market. They're very good at doing it so that it's relentless. It's not just once where they, buy the dip once. It's so that you psychologically you think, well, I'm losing money every day. Like when the markets are bad for 2 weeks, it feels like an eternity. So I believe that's in large part what's happening with Bitcoin. You can choose to believe that or not. Another interview I saw was the CEO of Rocket Fuel was on Fox Business, and he believes that Bitcoin is more of an asset class, whereas governments, the government coins like USD coin, will be what we use on transactions. That's where we spend our money. I don't know if I necessarily buy that. I also don't know if Bitcoin will be the cryptocurrency that is used for transactions necessarily when there are a lot that are faster. A lot of people look at that. Litecoin's a lot faster, and there's other coins faster than Litecoin. So people focus on the transaction speed. I don't know if there's anything more secure than Bitcoin. And again, its scarcity, plays a large part in that as well. But another thing, this is where I think that this even may be manipulation in an odd way, where he talks about the idea that it's so volatile. Bitcoin is so volatile. Well, that's because there's only a small fraction of the world's population that have Bitcoin. So once look at the amount of instant we get all excited about Tesla putting $1.5 billion. That's one company. So let's say let's say half the big institutions around the world start putting 2% of their balance sheets into Bitcoin. The amount of money that is going to flood into the market, and also the amount of Bitcoin that's going to take away from retail investors like you and I. So again, a lot of people think there may be a supply shock going on right now that's affecting the price. I don't know what's affecting the price in the short term, but I also don't really care. If you watch Moron Money consistently, you know that pretty much everything I say is about long-term investments. I don't care about trading. I don't care what the price is going to be next week because I plan on holding everything I own for years to come, at least. So, except I take that back. Except a few penny stocks where in the next 6 months or a year they reach what I think is their pinnacle. Then I'll dump those. But I think just for tax purposes, but this is important, by the way, since this is more on money, you may not know this. I think keeping assets over a year, longer than a year, is important because the capital gains tax that you pay goes down significantly. So it's to your benefit to keep stocks and cryptocurrency and all that for more than a year. And while I'm on it, again, I think most people know this, but I know, especially if you're new to the market, why would you know it? Um, if you get rid of your crypto, that is like people talk about crypto being untaxed. If you sell your crypto, or even if you trade, your Bitcoin for Ethereum or whatever, um, that counts as a sale, and you will be taxed on that. So always be aware of that when you're trading things short term. That's I think the scariest part of it for me, anyways. I don't want to give the government my money. Damn it. Um, so I'm saying too much, aren't I? Well, we will move on. Oh no, there are a couple more Bitcoin things real quick. They entered a deal with the UFC for $175 million. So again, that goes to long term. When I talk about these, now we've seen UFC and MLB get involved in crypto and have crypto sponsorships, um, as well as the institutions that we've talked about: Visa, Mastercard, PayPal, Tesla, Mass Mutual, on and on and on. Morgan Stanley, J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Guggenheim. So all of these places are getting into crypto, and they simply won't allow it to fail at this point. I don't believe. So for anyone that says it's a scam, I don't believe that all of these wealthy people. Steve Cohen just hired a head of crypto. So it seems that these people think it's here to stay. Apple and Amazon were looking for crypto executives to come in. So, and blockchain executives, people with a background in blockchain technology. So, these institutions believe crypto is going to be around for a long time. And as that CEO of Rocket Fuel mentioned, he said, "I think people are starting to realize the value of cryptocurrency helping the financial system. So not just investing to make money, but people are starting to realize this may be the future of money. In fact, so looking at what all cryptos do, looking at what Bitcoin does, we're about to talk about what Ethereum is going to do." And I've mentioned Chainlink a few times, where we're going to talk about Penn National later. Chainlink is important to bring real world data to blockchains. Ethereum uses it. Um, so basically, eventually, when gambling companies start using different blockchains, Chainlink is going to be the main one, the Oracle technology that allows these blockchains to update in real time. So I think Chainlink under $20 is very undervalued, and we'll get to Penn National in a moment. But as far as Ethereum goes, I mentioned earlier in the week, August 4th is a big date, which is again why I look at these prices and I don't really understand them. But August 4th is coming up for Ethereum, and if you don't know why that date is significant, the EIP 1559 is coming up. That's part of the layer 2 solution. And what that upgrade does is essentially make Ethereum a deflationary asset. So they're going to start burning Ethereum, which should regulate the gas fees, but also bring a scarcity to Ethereum, which it's never seen before. And I think you're going to see the price really skyrocket once that happens. And again, look at what Ethereum does as far as smart contracts and all that, because when you start to learn that, you think, okay, this could be the future of banking, really. And maybe banks will smarten up and start using it, or maybe some already have, and we don't know about. But looking at what Ethereum does, looking at that August 4th date, of course, do your own research. And one last crypto note: Shiba Inu launched their exchange over the last couple days, I guess, and it picked up rapidly. Um, play around with Shiba Inu if you would like. It scares me, frankly. I don't know what its value is at all. So you look at Shiba Inu as kind of a Doge coin where you can make money off of it for sure. But long term, what is it going to do for you? I'm not quite as sure. And if you do know, please enlighten me, smarten me up, give me some knowledge in the comments, and let other people know as well. It's a community here, so let people know what you know. Anything you think is wrong, or anything you agree with, or anything you can add to the conversation, let me know in the comments. And finally, here, I mentioned Kirk, the great Kirk Minahan asked me why. I said Penn National is is a value under $100, and I froze, even though I've said this 10 million times. So hopefully, you've turned to more on money for your Penn National predictions here, because the reason I think Penn National is undervalued is simple. It topped out at essentially double what it is now, which doesn't always mean anything. That could be a lot of just retail investors following what Dave Portnoy tells them to do, which you know, I guess I worry about that for his sake, but that's fine. And a lot of that was that. Although a lot of the reason Penn National skyrocketed so high was because of a lot of the social media buzz around it and all that. But then when you start to look at their financials from the Barstool Sportsbook app, um, and the idea that they're opening casinos still, and I didn't realize till not that long ago that Penn National is only in 19 states in the United States. As gambling gets legalized across the country, their CEO has already said we plan to be on all 50 states as essentially as soon as it's legalized federally. They've Michigan, Indiana, Pennsylvania. I think there's one or two that I'm missing as far as where the Barstool Sportsbook app is available. But I think they're going to open casinos around the country. I believe those are going to make a big comeback now that we're fully opening up. But more importantly, I think gambling is going to be legalized federally by the end of Biden's presidency, I would assume. It seems like I would be shocked if cannabis and gambling aren't legalized by the time Biden's out of office, because it seems like those would be easy things for him to get an attaboy on from his peeps. So look at gambling stocks, and then because of Barstool, I do believe that Penn National has an advantage on DraftKings. You've seen DraftKings try to copy Penn National already. They hired a head of content who's supposed to be Portnoy, I guess, but he's essentially just a bore. He's the type of guy radio would hire. He's a consultant, essentially, a suit, a stiff. And then their big hire, it's not even a hire, oddly. Their big investment as far as content is Dan Levitard, who is popular around the country. I mean, people in states where like sports talk radio is not big locally, I think guys like Dan Levitard and Colin Cowherd reign supreme in those areas. So, good for them. I'm sure Levitard has some sort of an audience around the country. But again, that seems like an odd, tired radio or ESPN type move where it's like, well, let's just hire this guy because we know his name and let's throw $50 million at him, rather than say, let's, try and groom some talent the way Barstool did, or find interesting people the way Barstool does. So I think Barstool has such a better grip on what their audience wants as far as content, but also as far as gambling. They have a group of degenerates locked in already, and I say degenerates with love. People who are going to spend a lot of money gambling. That's their audience. So I believe they have a leg up on a lot of the other gambling companies. But if you don't agree with me, look into Round Hill Sports Betting ETF, ticker BETZ, because that's below $30 right now, which I think is of a decent value as well. But yeah, Penn National at $72 or whatever it is. You see a lot of price predictions. A lot of analysts have it over 100 as well. So look at that. People think it could be back up to 114 by the end of the year. So I believe the smart money is with Penn National, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then, like I say, I like Cardano and Chainlink as well. I have some invested in Litecoin and XRP. XRP, I go back and forth on. A lot of people dump on it. But also, I think once that lawsuit is finally washed away, which it seems like it will be eventually, I think XRP is going to take off. But as is clear by this month, I said crypto is going to take off in July. It has not yet. So these markets are often impossible to predict. But as Warren Buffett always says, when others are fearful, be greedy, and when others are greedy, be fearful. So on days like this, when the market is blood red, that's when you should be buying. That's when you should be looking at these companies and say, well, if nothing has changed, that's the other thing about Penn National. Nothing has changed fundamentally. Dave Portnoy wasn't hit by a bus. the Barstool Sportsbook app wasn't deplatformed. Gambling hasn't been shut down, and it doesn't look like it's going to be anytime soon in the states it's already legal in. So there's nothing colossal. They're not involved in any scandals or bankruptcy rumors or anything like that. So that's what you should be looking for is bad news when these companies take a dip. But when you look at it and find no bad news, and in fact some good news, and people talk, analysts raising their price predictions and things, that's when you should be buying into these companies. So always make sure you do your own research before investing in the stock, even if it's down 50%, and you say, hey, when this rebounds, it's going to be great. Don't always just trust that. Do your own research. Do a quick, at least a Google search at the very least to make sure you believe in where you're putting your money. So if you'd be so kind, if you want more moron money, then check out patreon.com/blindmike. And we do 2 bonus episodes per week. I'm behind because of the holiday, but I will make that up. I promise you. So there was only 1 bonus moron money this week, but next week there will be 2, maybe 3. Who knows? So check out more on Monday. There's also the Blind Mike Project on there, which you can get free every Monday, but there's bonus episodes on the Patreon as well. So check out patreon.com/blindmike. Or as I said, a free way to support the channel is a like, subscribe, comment, tap the notification bell. All of that helps the old algorithm and gets more peepers on these videos. So I appreciate it. Tell a friend, tweet it out, all that jazz. And until next time, oops. I did something here, but hopefully this is still recording. Keep making money, folks.